Hello there and a very good evening to you. It is FriDATE, the 14th day of April 2023. I trust that you're doing well this particular evening. Quite a lot lined up just for you. At the tail end of this particular interview, we'll be discussing matters Gengeton, so stick around for that. But first, to the headlines. Tonight, 4 people dead, 11 hospitalized after being brainwashed into fasting to death by Malindi pastor.
As we are trying to get them to where the transport was, 4 succumbed.
Also tonight, Azimio Brigade writes to the ICC over alleged police brutality during Azimio protests, as President William Ruto now says Kenyans will enjoy cheaper ugali from next week.
Kuanzia next week, mutaanza kuona bei ya unga ikiteremuka kwa sababu ile itakuwa imefika.
Plus, government cash crunch affects economies in counties as many county workers remain without purchase power.
Ukiangalia tulikuwa tunauza kama gunia 4 kwa siku 5, lakini imebidi tunauza gunia 1.
Small businesses hurt the most.
Ukinunua kama nyanya, hiyo nyanya inakaa tu kwa kipanda paka inaharibikia hapo.
Welcome to the bulletin. Catherine Simalo is on the sign language interpretation. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyiringite. You can always talk to us on our social media platforms. Tonight we start on a sad note, where Kakamega County has ordered the Sacred Heart Mukumu girls to destroy all the foodstuffs in the stores as well as clean water storage tanks after Camry reports indicated food poisoning as the cause of 4 deaths that occurred in the school. Addressing the media today, Baraza said that the county, through the public health, has also rolled out a county inspection of all learning institutions to ensure they meet the health threshold.
The outbreak of unknown disease last month in Sacred Heart Mukumu Girls High School has left many with questions without answers as the national and county government scratch heads for solutions of its adverse effects. This comes a day after death toll in the school rose to 4, where the school's boarding mistress succumbed to multi-organs failure in a hospital in Eldoret. The Ministry of Health, through a statement to the media, has warned of an outbreak of unknown disease in Kakamega County, which has affected students of Mukumu Girls and Butere Boys High School in the recent past. In that statement, the Acting Director General in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, says the disease may be caused by contaminated water, E. coli and Salmonella, causing diarrhea and vomiting, among other symptoms. According to the ministry, the disease could have started on the 1st of March. And as of today, 627 patients were taken ill, while 16 are still admitted in 7 counties across the country, all of whom are in stable condition. At the same time, Kakamega County government has ordered destruction of all foodstuffs in Mukumu Girls High School following death of 3 students and 1 teacher.
So the bacteria that has been detected actually is because of contamination of food and water. I want to direct the management and the board of Mukumu Girls High School to destroy all the foodstuffs that they have. That is the maize, the rice, the beans, etc. Because we cannot afford to expose our girls to further disaster. Number 2, because of the water contamination, I also want to direct that all the water storage facilities be cleaned and the water be chlorinated.
Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza has said that the Camry report shows that the death of the 4 was due to food and water poisoning.
For other cases we lost, like the teacher we lost yesterday, Madam Juliana, she was meant to be airlifted to Nairobi 2 days ago, but the family preferred to take her to a private hospital.
Baraza has said that 16 students are still admitted in different hospitals in 7 counties across the country.
There will be no cover-up, because the first thing that I've directed is that the suppliers must be changed. Those who will take criminal liability will do so. Those who will be sacked, that report will make those recommendations. The Department of Public Health has rolled out a county-wide inspection of all schools and learning institutions to ensure that they meet health requirements.
The body of the boarding mistress of the school, Juliana Mujema, who died yesterday in Eldoret, has been transferred to Kakamega Funeral Parlor today.
She passed a lot of blood in form of clots, a lot, until the whole body became pale. But they kept on adding blood. They kept on adding blood. Where that blood was going, we don't know. When it reached around 12, the girl began to give up. The girl gave up.
The family now wants the government to speed up the investigations and determine the cause of their kin's untimely death.
Akasema the only way to save your sister's life ni kumpeleka dialysis because at this stage kidneys hazifanyi, liver haifanyi. I became curious nikamwambia, you see, we as a family demand to know ni nini imepelekea kidney kufail na liver kufail. Unaweza katu explainia before mpeleke kwa dialysis. What the doctor told me, quote unquote, ni kwamba if there is a problem, hata kama kutakuwa na alleged food poisoning or anything, that dialysis ita-clean zote na itoe kabisa kabisa.
Every Kenyan has a right to a clean and healthy environment, and if that right is not guaranteed, then he or she is supposed to seek legal redress. And if it is true that the death of my sister has been brought forward through irresponsibility on the part of Board of Management, then let the government see how it can be corrected.
Juliana, who was the fifth born in a family of 8, has left behind 2 children. Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
For now, we are treating them empirically.
Elsewhere, police in Kilifi County tonight searching for a shallow grave believed to be linked to controversial pastor Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church, accused of brainwashing his followers to fast to death. 4 people have died in the latest discovery by police.
Following the controversies surrounding a pastor of the Good News International Church in Malindi who has been accused of brainwashing people to fast to death with an aim of seeing God in their lives, 4 people died on their way to hospital after they had been rescued by the police from the Shakahola bush in Chakama.
I and my team proceeded to Chakama in a place called Shakahola, and we went there based on an information that there were some people who were cited by members of public having been starved somewhere and were just about to die.
The 4 were among the 15 who had been rescued after the police got information that they were in critical conditions as a result of the long distance from the scene to the Malindi hospital and their weaknesses due to lack of food. The 4 succumbed to death before reaching the hospital.
And among the 15 people, 4 died as we were proceeding to hospital because the area is very vast and vehicles could not get to where they are. So as we are trying to get them to where the transport was, 4 succumbed.
According to the Malindi Sub-County Investigative Officer Charles Kamau, 3 people out of those who were taken to hospital are in critical conditions, while 8 were in stable condition.
Information at hand is that there are more people who are believed to be in the bush, and we are still in the course of investigations to go and see, to verify how true that is.
More people are believed to have been affected by the malicious act of the pastor, the investigating officer suggesting that there are reports of over 30 who may have died and buried in shallow graves inside the Shakahola forest, and that they have launched investigations to establish the exact location.
Attempting to commit suicide is an offense. The only offense that is an offense when attempted and is not an offense when committed is suicide. So if they attempted to commit suicide, they have already committed an offense. They may face charges.
The controversial preacher was arrested and arraigned in court last month for allegedly causing death using radicalizing tendencies. Reporting for TV47, my name is Gilbert Nalo.
And the latest on the same gist for you is that the controversial preacher has surrendered to the police. It is reported that Pastor Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church presented himself at the DCI offices in Malindi and will be keeping our eyes and ears open on ground to give you the latest as it unfolds. Now also, President William Ruto has assured Kenyans that the price of unga will be lowered beginning next week, while championing his calls for bipartisan parliamentary talks. The president called out the opposition over their plan to recall their weekly protests after Ramadan.
Talks about the ever-rising cost of living took center stage during President William Ruto's visit to Machakos, where he launched the water supply project in Mavoko. The president assuring residents that cheaper ugali is on the horizon.
Ambaye ni kesho sasa itakuwa imefika hapa Kenya. Kuanzia next week mutaanza kuona bei ya unga ikiteremuka kwa sababu ile itakuwa imefika. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Mnanielewa? Mutaanza kuona bei mpya kuanzia next week, kwa sababu lazima to balance, tuhakikishe ya kwamba hata ile tunatoa nje haiumizi wakulima wetu.
The head of state, however, says the new plan, which involves maize importation, will make sure farmers do not suffer, as this is the only way to meet the challenges of prices of unga in the market.
Nikuulize wewe mtu ya Mavoko, hata ukiweka sufuria kwa kichwa kwa siku ngapi, bei ya unga itapungua? Si lazima uende ulime ndio bei ya unga ipungue? Sasa hii watu ya kuweka sufuria kwa kichwa waache mchezo. Ama ni aje? Sio kama tunaelewana. Waache kusumbua mimi na sufuria kwa kichwa.
The president also used the platform to call out the Azimio Brigade for threatening to recall weekly protest after Ramadan, urging the Raila Odinga-led brigade to give dialogue a chance.
Kwa sababu maandamano haiwezi kusaidia mtu. Ama mnasemaje watu wa Mavoko? Tunaelewana? Nimewaambia kama kuna maneno, si kuna bunge na tumechagua watu kule bunge, si waende waongee hiyo maneno. Kwani nyinyi mnajua mahali saba iko? Sasa mtu anakuja kusumbua nyinyi ati saba mtajua saba iko kona wani.
Wakakuja wakasema Kibaki must go, Kibaki must go, Kibaki akatawala akamaliza akastaafu. Wakasema Uhuru and Ruto must go, Uhuru must go, Uhuru akamaliza miaka 10 akaenda nyumbani. Sasa wanasema William Ruto must go. Wacha niwaambie, William Ruto atamaliza kazi yake, miaka yake yote, alafu Mungu atachagua kiongozi mwingine anayetaka endelee na Kenya.
The president also announced that the government will pump in extra funds for development projects in Machakos.
Na tumepata waegezaji wengine ambao watakuja kuegeza katika special economic zone yetu hii. Kufikia Disemba mwaka huu, tutakuwa tumeongeza wafanyikazi wengine 25,000 hapa katika special economic zone ya Athi River.
Tukiongea sasa hivi already nimechimba 16 dams. Boreholes nime-rehabilitate karibu 10.
Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Now, businesses are on the receiving end as governments navigate historical financial challenge as both the national and county governments struggle through one of the most challenging financial phases in the country's history. Businesses seem to suffer most as many customers have chosen to purchase less or completely stay away. Many sellers, especially those dealing in fresh produce, are incurring losses, associating this with a drastic reduce in customers' purchase power. Our reporter Arnold Adidi visited Mbale Market in Vihiga County and prepared this report.
This is Mbale Market in Vihiga County. About 3 months ago, one will not find it easy to navigate these streets as customers flooded the place to purchase different products. But today, it's totally the opposite.
Flow ya customer imerudi chini kwa sababu ukiangalia tulikuwa tunauza kama gunia 4 kwa siku 5, lakini imebidi tunauza gunia 1 kwa sababu customer wameona vitu ziko juu, wametafuta alternative. Waru imekuwa ni kama ni chakula cha watu wa kigeni.
Ukinunua kama nyanya, hiyo nyanya inakaa tu kwa kipanda paka inaharibikia hapo. Ukiona saa hii niko na machunga, hakuna mtu mwenye ananunua, mtu anapita tu.
Whatever the traders choose, Whether to hike prices or make it quite lenient, the results are the same. There are only a few customers to buy, this leaving them with nothing but losses.
Sukuma saa hii tumepunguza, tunapima hata ya 10 sukuma mingi. Lakini watu hawanunui. Nyanya ndio labda iko juu. Tena haiuziki vizuri.
Hata ukiweka chini hakuna mwenye ananunua, ziko tu, si wenyewe tuna nini tu hivi, alafu tena tunarudi tunakula tu hiyo matunda.
The cash crunch facing the government, which has made disbursement to counties impossible, a scenario which has impeded purchasing power of the residents, most of whom are county employees who have gone months without salaries.
Nakuja nanunua naenda. Sasa sasa hii imekuwa kuja nipe tungoje end month, ikifika end month unapata hajapewa na anakuja. Sasa unajua kama customer uwezi mkazia, inabidi umsaidie. Sasa ukifika mahali, ikifika ni wakati wa kupiga mahesabu, unapata pesa yako mingi iko na wa customer imeshikwa. Juu pia wao wanangoja maybe ikifika hii mwezi end month tutapewa kitu tusote wateja, unapata imekuwa ngumu.
Despite the government insisting that it is trying its best to cushion small traders, less is to be celebrated here.
Tulikopa pesa za hustler fund. Hizo pesa tulikopa kweli. Limit walitupea 500. Aki president wetu, hata kama ni wewe 500 ukipea mtu kweli, kusema ukweli, sisi wafanya biashara aki hata hizo yani imetushinda kurudisha, tupe loan.
The traders now say that it is becoming more difficult as their families depend on these dying ventures. Though not an inaugural call, they say that the government should urgently chip in before the situation gets out of control.
Tungeomba serikali at least watu boost na pesa ndio tuone vile hii biashara yetu tunaweza kuiboost.
Arnold Adidi, TV47, Vihiga County.
Thank you for that, Adidi. Now, more security forces are expected to be trooping to the volatile areas of the northern part of Kenya to aid in the joint security operation starting Saturday, following a statement issued by Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki while appearing before legislators this week. Now, this even as the operation continues to elicit mixed reactions among locals and leaders, with some residents opting to preach peace as they traverse 4 counties and hope to cover 367 kilometers in a peace walk. Listen in.
Collins Kwanyiko, a peace ambassador from Lumuge in Tanglubei Ward, Baringo County, has succumbed to gunshot wounds after being shot by suspected bandits who made away with 77 herds of cattle. According to area leaders, Kwanyiko, together with other peace ambassadors, had faced the suspected bandits and sought to find out why they were tainting the image of the community, and in response, the suspected bandits sprayed him with bullets.
Hiyo imetukera sana kama watu wenye wanapenda amani, sababu ukipata mwenye anahusika anajaribu kabisa kung'ang'ana kupigana na hii banditry kwa upande atiati, unapata kwamba hata hawa pia hawana amani.
Meanwhile, in Turkana County, Governor Jeremiah Lumurkai has launched a peace walk campaign that aims to sensitize residents in the volatile areas against cattle rustling and attacks. Charles Malcolm Luchudo, a peace ambassador, tells us that he will brave the tough terrains and weather to walk a distance of 367 kilometers from Turkana, Pokot, Trans Nzoia and culminate in Uasin Gishu County.
Tupeane nafasi nzuri kwa wasafiri wetu, kwa wafanyabiashara, kwa watoto wetu ambao wanasafiri kwenda macollege, kwenda mashule. Kuna watoto wetu wamepoteza maisha kwa barabara na jawabu sijapata kujua ni nini. Kwa hivyo watu wajaribu kutoka kwa barabara, wale watu wanabebana na bunduki haramu watoke kwa barabara na wapeane safari hii nafasi ya kuweza kusafiri.
Najua kwamba Mungu ametuwezesha, anataka tu kusema ya kwamba itawapeeni nini. Na safari hii ni msafara wa amani, msafara wa imani ambaye ni msafara wa amani. Bila imani barabara hii hautatembea. Tutatembea kwa imani na najua Mungu atasababisha amani kwa sababu ya matembezi haya.
This even as more boots are expected to be deployed as of Saturday, according to Cabinet Secretary of Interior, Professor Kithure Kindiki, while being grilled by legislators on Wednesday.
Gears now, the Senate Health Committee has commenced its two-day induction retreat that has brought together the Control of Budget and the County Assemblies Forum to discuss matters of health budgetary allocations, with just 1 month left before the new financial year's budget is tabled by the Ministry of Treasury before Parliament. Our reporter Elizabeth Atino attended the meeting held in Nairobi and filed this report.
As medical practitioners and different health unions amplify their voices to decry the low budget allocated for the health sector, the Controller of Budget, Dr. Margaret Nyakango, has today broken her silence on the matter while appearing before the Senate Health Committee, where she confirmed that the budget allocation for health has declined as compared to the financial year 2021-2022.
Current financial year, and I'm talking financial year 22-23, the county governments have allocated Kenya shillings 124.89 billion to the health sector, which translates to an average 25.2% of the cumulative budgets. And you may wish to know that this is a decline from the Kenya shillings 128.70 billion that was allocated in financial year 21-22.
Nyakango has emphasized the need for counties to reflect the budget used on facility improvement fees for different county health facilities, with Narok Senator Lidama Olekina sending a tough warning to a section of county leaders using KEMSA for their selfish gains.
The biggest problem we have is that you at CAF, you appropriate the money, but the executive do not follow the budget diligently. They requisition money from the Control of Budget, they divert that money. And sometimes they'll even use KEMSA, which is completely practical. They'll say KEMSA, and once the Control of Budget sees that, because it's a big entity, she will release the money.
Now, this is where the problem is, because some facilities will spend the money before it has hit the county revenue fund. But I need to say here and now that that is illegal. That is not the way the law is as at now.
Health workers are now anxiously waiting to see if the 2023-2024 budget will implement the Abuja Declaration, which underscores the need for different countries in Africa to allocate 15% of their national budget to health.
It is important that the health budget becomes a minimum of 30% of the entire budget. One of the resolution, and I hope that it will be a resolution of this committee today, is that we want to carry out an audit of all health facilities in the 47 counties, so that we can be able to understand what is it that each of the county need.
It is one thing to allocate the funds, but it is a completely different thing for those funds to be put to the users for which the funds were allocated.
And as the health budget debate intensifies, the fate of the 43.5 billion Kenya shillings Managed Equipment Services MES project launched in 2015 remains unknown, as a section of legislators now claim that they have been left in the dark with regards to the budget being allocated to the project.
The MES was a mess. I know we're discussing about it being a conditional grant. In fact, yesterday I was running around looking for the figure in the Division of Revenue bill, but I didn't quite see it because it's something which has always been shrouded in secrecy.
In December 2022, the Council of Governors Health Committee opposed plans to extend the project for a further 3